Okay guys, so when is the last time you've been called up out of the blue, completely cold, and somebody's offered you a service and you've bought? When is the last time somebody's came up to you in the street, offered you a service and you bought it? When is the last time somebody's ever offered you anything to buy something completely cold, came up to you without you wanting it and you've gone, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna buy that? The answer is probably never, or very rarely, okay? And what the topic of this video is, to illustrate this point, is why cold outreach sucks, right? Even as an appointment setter and even as a business, right? I'm gonna run you through why they suck for both and what you should do instead, okay? So for appointment setters specifically, because I help appointment setters get very good, get placed, and also, get paid very well as a result. So if you wanna learn more about that, by the way, my Instagram is there at AidanKBiz, and my website is here also, k24labs.com, links in the description, back on with the video, okay? So for appointment setting, I'm telling you as someone that's done cold outreach and also inbound, so where leads come to you. And I'm telling you firsthand, oh my God, cold outreach sucks big time, right? So the reason why is because number one, there are so many hoops to jump through. Like I can't even put that into words to fully describe how annoying it is. There's platform restrictions. There's like, you have to make multiple accounts because there's like, for example, you can get banned really easily. There's restrictions such as you can only message 10 people per day. And then to make a new account, you have to warm it up for 2 weeks. And then you're very susceptible to getting it banned. You have to be able to verify, your account, you have to pay for the premium subscription, do a verification thing. So you can only have one account. If you want a second account, you have to use it in a friend's name and then use like a voice note, because if you do a video, message, it's not going to match because it's your friend's account. Like there's so many things, so many hoops to jump through. There's so many restrictions and it's just a ball ache, okay? That's number one. And number two, right, there's lots of volume to get results. So for example, let's say you finally manage to set up a system where you can send 50 messages per day, which will take you a couple of weeks to set that up, by the way, as well. So it's going to take a long time to even get to the point where you can send a lot of volume. But when you can send a lot of volume, it takes a lot of volume to get good results. Because again, when is the last time somebody's called you up, offered you a service, and you've gone, you know what? I don't know who you are. I don't recognize the number. And you're offering me a £2,000 service. You're offering me like a couple £100 service, right? Whatever, right? I'm going to buy it. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't trust you. This is a random cold call. You're a salesperson. You're trying to sell me something for like over the phone. I've never met you in my life. Yeah, let me give you my bank details and just pay. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but my God, is it hard to do, right? So as an appointment setter, like to get someone to buy something alone from cold outreach is really hard, but especially to get someone to book an appointment, because again, they really don't know who you are, okay? So for the business owner, they want to get the call on the calendar so they can close them. If you manage to get the call on the calendar, it's still really hard to close them because again, they're completely cold, right? And because it takes lots of volume to get results, and there's so many hoops to jump through, that's an extra hoop. You've got all of those hoops that I just listed right there, platform restrictions, have to make new accounts, all of this kind of stuff. And then you have to do lots of volume. So it's just more and more and more and more hoops to get results. And I'm talking, if you want to book 2 appointments a day with cold outreach, you're probably going to have to do like, honestly, like 200 to 300 messages a day, 300 to 400 messages a day. And they all have to be personalized as well. You can't copy and paste them, right? Because if you do, then you're going to have to do even more outreach because personalization always wins. So I'm not really selling it to you right now, am I, about doing cold outreach? So many hoops to jump through and set up. Let's do loads of volume to get results. And the price doesn't match the effort, okay? A lot of these roles that you're going to be hired for, you're going to be paid per appointment or you're going to get paid a base salary, okay? It's going to sound great at the start, but when you get on the role, you're going to realize you're doing hundreds of dollars a day, hundreds of DMs a day, barely booking any appointments, and the price just does not match the effort at all. And a lot of these roles too, for cold outreach, like to pay you for commission only. So, oh my God, imagine, let me just run this down for you, right? So you're an appointment setter, you're getting paid per commission, so only if the deal closes on a high ticket product, and it needs to be a high ticket product to make it worth your time, right? So you're paid 5% on a 10K deal. Okay, so 10K, that's already a massive barrier as well, okay? Because you're selling to cold leads, a really expensive service, so that's even harder, right? So you're paid only 5% on the commission if they close. So now you're having to jump through all of these hoops to get the account set up to do the volume. You're having to spend a load of time, doing the actual volume and messaging people. And then you only get paid if the salesperson, you don't even know their skills or how good they are, can actually close the deal. Bearing in mind, even if they are a good salesperson, their job is still much harder because they're having to close a completely cold lead, right? And then you only get paid if the deal closes. So how many hoops do you have to jump through to actually get paid? And then when you do get paid, you're gonna get paid like a couple £100 on a sale, and you're gonna realize I've gone through 2 weeks of hell, no sleep, and honestly just burning myself out for a couple of £100. Okay, so it sucks. Okay, is what I'm trying to say. So price doesn't match the effort. It's hard to scale. Again, like it all ties back into so many hoops to jump through to set up these accounts, to not get banned, to get, like, for example, deliverability, like cold email as well. You have to go through all of these DNS and DMARC record setups, and you have to test new scripts and, you know, get leads and import the leads and then personalize it. And oh my God, like, to scale it, you're a one-man band, and the person you're working with has hired you to do it yourself, right? So you're responsible for all of this. You can't even hire a team because this person has hired you to do it. So now you are responsible for all of this stuff that I've just listed, okay? So really hard to scale, and obviously scaling equals more money. So the only way to make more money is to scale, but you can't even scale. So it's not really worth your time, is it, okay? So number one, so the next one is you're gonna eat crap daily, right? You're gonna eat crap daily, okay? Because if you've ever done cold calling, if you've ever sent cold DMs, if you've ever done any kind of cold outreach, you know that the price of doing that, okay, one of the taxes you have to pay for doing this is you get absolutely steamrolled every single day, okay? People are going to be telling you to F off, people are going to be saying some really not nice things to you, people are going to be threatening your family, you're going to get blocked, you're going to get rejected, and if you're not the kind of person that can take that on board or take that on the chin, then you're not going to succeed. Because I'm telling you right now, when you do cold calls to roofers or tradesmen, you're trying to sell them a service, and they are grilling you on the phone, that is so hard to still stay in the game alongside everything else. So you're being shouted at every day, and then when you get off the phone, your job is still impossible, right? There's no benefits to this. So you're being shouted at all day, it's really hard to set up, it's really stressful, and at the end of it, you don't even get paid according to the amount of work you're putting in or the amount of crap you're having to deal with, okay? So do you see why cold outreach sucks right now, okay? And also as well, for cold outreach, if you're doing cold outreach for a business, a lot of the time for an appointment setting like position, if it is cold outreach, a lot of the time that's for like a brand new business that hasn't got a personal brand, okay? Because if they had a personal brand, they had a big like organic like inbound thing, which we'll get into in a second, right? If they did have that, they wouldn't really need to do as much cold outreach. They'd get you to do the inbound setting because they have a lot of leads coming to them, okay? And obviously inbound leads makes it really easy to close because they already trust the brand, they know who you are, they actually want the product, compared to someone that has no idea who you are, they don't trust you, and they don't want the product, right? So the appointment setting role that you do, right, if it is cold outreach, 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be with a new business. And what does that mean? Has no proof of concept, you have no proof the business works, right? You have no proof that the offer is wanted, and a lot of the time these guys don't have any clients or much cash at all. So they will want to get away with paying you 5% commission only if the deal closes. Now that is, you may as well stay in your 9 to 5 at that rate, okay? So just keep that in mind because it is a big trap that a lot of like businesses try and tell you. Also, on-track earnings is a scam a lot of the time. Like, I don't want to like put you off completely, but a lot of the time, on-track earnings is BS. On-track earnings, they will say 2 to 3K a month OTE, right? But if you actually look at the on-track earnings and what it means you can make 3K a month if you hit our requirements. And then if you look at their requirements, a lot of the time, it's impossible, okay? It's like book 5 appointments a day, close 20% of our leads, all of this stuff, right? They have like impossible requirements for a brand new business, and then you only get paid if that deal closes. I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it, okay? So if you're a brand new appointment setter, please just keep this in mind before you go and do a cold outreach role. If you ever do a cold outreach role, make sure it's actually worth your time in terms of like the cash, right? And there's proof of appointment setters succeeding with that same specific payment structure and the same cold outreach role in the past. Never do it with a brand new business, never do it pay per sale, and never do it with no knowledge on the company and exactly what they do and how they structure things, okay? Just keep that in mind, right? And that just ties into my next point, which is impossible targets, as I've already just explained, okay? And then also bad close rate, okay? Again, this goes back to the point of people don't want the product. It's like cold leads are always infinitely harder to sell to because again, there's no trust, they don't know who you are. And it's just like they have to really jump through more and more hoops to actually close the deal, okay? So bad close rate, if you're paid pay per sell and they've got a bad close rate, then you're gonna get paid nothing, right? On top of all of the work you're doing, you're not gonna get paid for the work, you're only gonna get paid if the person can close. But even if they can close, the close rate is still bad, so that just like lowers your money even more, okay? So just, oh God, I'm stressing myself out thinking about this, right? So what I want you to do is go to an inbound role, okay? Inbound is the opposite of all of the above. There's not many hoops to jump through. The leads come to you. The leads are already warm. They already want your product, right? They're messaging you. They're asking you for the sale. So you'll go into someone's account, like The Rock. Let's say he started like a business selling a 10 grand package. He's got 100 million followers, 200 million followers, whatever. He's got loads of followers. Loads of people want it. He's too busy to respond to the leads himself because he's running the day-to-day operations of the company. So he'll hire you to come in. You take care of his DMs. You book all the interested people into an appointment. You get paid per appointment. You can make 5K a month. Bosh. I'm telling you as someone who's done it myself, right? So inbound, the leads come to you. You don't have to find them. You don't have to go through all of these hoops. You don't have to deal with all of this crap. You can get paid so much more, so much quicker, okay? Trust me, inbound is the way. I've done both. Cold outreach sucks. It sucks big time. Inbound is the way, okay? Now, this is the total reality. This is the logic for business owners and appointment setters, right? You've never bought from cold outreach. Like I said at the start of the video, you've never received a cold call. They've gone, oh, hey, oh, are you interested in like home insurance? Like, and you've gone, oh yeah, cool, yeah, let me sign up. Maybe you have, right? But I can guarantee a lot of the people watching this video have never done that, okay? I have never bought something from cold outreach. Nobody's ever DM'd me and I've gone, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. And I get loads of cold DMs. Everybody gets cold called, everybody gets cold DMs, everybody, even people that aren't running a business or have a personal brand gets pitched on a cold call or a cold DM daily, right? When have you ever bought the product? Okay, so ask yourself that. When have I ever bought this product, right, from cold outreach? And also, why haven't I bought the product? Why wouldn't you buy from cold outreach? You're going to think, well, I don't know who the person is. It might be a scam. There are a lot of scams out there. I don't want it. I haven't really got the desire, like all of this stuff. Now, if you ask yourself that question and you have all of these things come up, basically certain that everybody else is thinking the same thing. So if everybody else is thinking the same thing, what makes you think, that people are going to buy from you when you do it? Do you know the success rate of door-to-door sales? It works because people still do it, 100%. I'm not saying it doesn't work in total. I'm just saying it's not really worth it for the money you're getting paid, right? Or the effort, okay? So door-to-door sales, I think the success rate is like 1.5 to 2% of people buy. So if you have to knock on 100 doors a day, have 100 conversations, get told to F off like 98 times just to get 2 sales, and the 2 sales aren't worth the money at all, right? Compared to like answering inbound calls of people wanting to buy the product, and it's really easy to get them over the line because they're already sold. Does that make sense? So you've never bought from it, so why would people buy from you? This is why, like, this is going off of the topic of appointment setters now. This is going to those of you that have a business, if you are watching this. Cold outreach, yeah, it's another system to run to get more clients. I'm not saying it doesn't work. With enough volume over time, you will close more deals, right? But it's not something you should rely on long term. You should be doing that definitely at the start, but really what you should be doing is building a personal brand, right? So that people come to you wanting the product. For example, nobody's ever cold called you and said, hey, do you want this iPhone? You know, for example, like, let's say Apple, they wouldn't be as successful as they are, right? If they just cold call people saying, hey, we've got this really cool phone. It does this, this, and this. It's also 1,500 quid. Do you want it? No, they've built this brand. People go to the Apple shop wanting to give them money, right? It's the same thing. If you build a brand, build a product that people want, people come to you and sales are so much easier, okay? So if you're like a brand new business owner, stop thinking, oh, I just need to send 1 million cold emails a day. It's gonna help you. Like I said, over time, with enough volume, you will close more deals. But what's really gonna help you is putting all of your time and effort into building a brand. And when you build a brand, right, you can have so many people wanting to buy a product, and then you can hire an appointment setter that's actually going to perform well because he's getting paid well because he's on an inbound role with inbound leads. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. Cold outreach sucks, right? Sometimes you do have to do it to get started. I've done it, okay? But if you can avoid it, especially as an appointment setter, right? This is what I teach my appointment setters, right? I teach them how to get on inbound roles, even as a beginner, okay? Now, inbound roles, again, the expectations of that, like you can really earn like 5K a month plus. I've actually personally hit a couple of 10K months just as an appointment setter, right? Now, that's quite, that's quite rare, okay? So I've got my own strategies for that. So if you want to learn how to get into appointment setting, avoid roles like these, go onto an inbound role very fast and get paid very, very quickly with a very, very good amount of money, a very good income. If you want to learn exactly how to do that, not make any of these mistakes like I did, and get paid ASAP and be a successful appointment setter tomorrow, basically, right? Avoid all of my mistakes. I want you to click the link to the description. It's going to be a link to my website, it's going to be my Instagram, and also a link to book a call, okay? And on that call, I'll run you through exactly how I can help. Now, if you don't want to be sold to, then don't book it in, okay? Because full transparency, if you book in that call, I will try and sell you something, okay? So if you don't want to buy anything, right, then don't book the call. But if you're serious about making this work and you're sick of being paid nothing as an appointment setter, right, and you want to be paid 5K a month plus and get to those levels like I've done, okay, because I've generated well over 6 figures in commissions for myself, right? And I still do it to this day. I still do appointment settings to this day. So everything I learn is what's working now, and I teach you as it's working now. So if you want to learn how to do this properly and you're serious about making it work and you're serious about quitting your job and doing this full time, traveling the world like I have, click the link down below, book a call, and I'll run you through exactly how I can help.